Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about WWE 2K22's Universe mode, giving you our review of the mode. Is it a broken mode though? We're going to talk about the goods of Universe mode, but we are going to talk about some of the issues players are facing today with it. Let's get into that episode right now. Hey everybody, welcome back to Assemble. I'm Matt. Great to have you here on the show. Let's talk 2K22 Universe mode. So we are going to talk about what's working, the good, and what's kind of bugged out and messy about Universe mode. Overall impressions of Universe mode is that I'm enjoying it. It's like a warm, soft blanket in the 2K franchise. I know exactly what I'm getting into when I'm playing this mode. I enjoy being able to have that sandbox element of being able to set up my matches, set up my card, set up my shows, have a giant roster of 50, 60 superstars, have a small roster of 10 or 12, put on an AEW card and ROH card. The level of customization in here as that sandbox element is what makes Universe mode special. Being able to set up your rivalries in there, short, medium, long, tag team rivalries. It's the reason why I am able to come back to this mode so much, and in previous 2K games, it's where I spend the majority of my time. In this year's Universe mode, we're able to do all of the things that we have known the mode to do from previous years. We can set up those automatic rivalries, the men's Royal Rumble, the women's Rumble this year. We can set up the Money in the Bank, Cash In, Taker, Survivor Series, the tag team breakups, the crowd reactions, if we're gonna have our injuries on and off, all of the standard stuff that's in the mode from previous years, it's there this time too. And that's a good thing. We are able to go in and adjust power rankings for our superstars, the match table, which I really enjoy and gotta remember to do more of it, being able to adjust the different matches that we wanna see in Universe mode. I think that's something that's kind of overlooked in my opinion. We don't take advantage of enough, especially me. I always forget that it's there. Being able to go into the menus, into my card, into my show, and being able to adjust the different types of matches we want to see. So it's not repetitive, so that we can see more Fatal 4-Way, 6-man matches, one-on-one, steel cage, Hell in the Cells. We can adjust it the way we want to. And yes, that's been there before. It's been in years past, I understand, but I'm glad that it's here again. And because this year we're able to include custom renders of superstars, whether it's going to be from the in-game roster or our creations that we've done online or downloaded online, putting in their custom renders of superstars like an updated Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Edge. I really like that feature that's added in because it extends the life of the mode. It doesn't feel out of date, and I like that when I'm going to put in a different version of Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns, it's not showing me the creation, it's showing me just the rendered image, and the community is amazing with doing the proper size images to put in there for the superstars. Now hang on, because we are going to talk about the issues with those renders. You're saying, hey Matt, nah. There's an issue, brother, when I'm going to put in all those renders. You haven't talked about crashing and game crashing. Hang on, because we are going to talk about the impact of those renders in just a moment. The big new addition of the mode is Superstar mode. This had me so curious with the lead up to the launch of the game, and it is very much what I expect it to be. But I find that I'm really starting to enjoy this mode more and more as I deep dive into it. Let me explain. Superstar mode allows you to follow the progress and development of one superstar throughout your universe that you're setting up. Remember, Universe mode is endless, right? So you design it however you want with this. But the addition of Superstar mode changes things up a little bit. In the options menu, we can go from a classic playlist for your classic mode for just doing regular Universe mode, and we could toggle it to switch over to Superstar mode. I like that they can do this seamlessly. We can continue our universe the way we are building it, and I can toggle between having my Roman Reigns Superstar mode or switching back to classic if I'm getting bored or want to change it up, or I only wanted to follow my superstar for a specific period of time. But they do give you more options available when it comes to Superstar mode that we need to take a look at. You have the curation menu and the curation menu appearance. You can set up how often you want to change the individual superstar, the focus superstars, rivalries, matchups, how they're developing and how they're progressing in your universe. We can change it every 3 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, never, after every pay-per-view. You can design it how you want. The curation menu also allows you to quickly start something, shake things up with your superstar. If you want to be able to start a rivalry, if you want to create a match, if you want to fight in a championship, go to another brand, create a tag team with somebody, break up your tag team. You want to fight in the Royal Rumble match. You want to have a match at WrestleMania. If you are holding the Money in the Bank briefcase, are these small little details that you can adjust yourself going through a standard universe mode? For sure, but it's curated and focused on your specific superstar. This is what makes it a little bit more fun for you, whether it's going to be your custom created superstar or it's going to be one of the in-game superstars. I really am enjoying the fact that I can have Roman Reigns as my focus superstar for this period that I'm doing, and I can easily just go in and create a rivalry just as we always do, no big deal. But I like the nuances of adjusting it myself, that after every pay-per-view, I change it up and I want him to go in and fight for a championship. I want him to hold all the gold in this thing. Or I'm gonna have him create a new tag team and he's gonna team up with Seth Rollins. And down the road, making sure that we are getting that WrestleMania match. Now, as you're going through your superstar mode, you're focusing in and only playing that match with that superstar. If they're on the show that week, you're playing that match. All the other matches are simulated all the way through. Here's a downside though. You cannot simulate the match for that superstar. Now I understand you're supposed to be playing this superstar. That's why you selected it. And if you don't want to do that, switch it back to standard classic mode. I totally get that. But there are some instances where I don't really feel like playing through SmackDown. I want to stay on the superstar focused mode. And I just want to simulate a couple of times, a couple of weeks. Maybe I have my star on multiple shows. Maybe it's cross-brand. And so maybe I don't really want to play with that superstar every single week and I just want to get to the pay-per-view. It would be nice if they allowed you to just have the option to simulate through your superstar mode matches. That's all. It's a smaller detail, but I wish they would add this in. The last really good thing that I will say about universe mode this year, what I'm experiencing, just my experience here, I'm getting more cutscenes. This was an issue for me in years past. I can't even count the countless games, just universe mode. Since it's come out, they've endlessly talked about how they have added more cutscenes, how there's going to be more moments in universe mode. And I never really ever experienced this. I might get the same standard moment, post-match run-in where they attack from behind, but I never really felt like I was getting anything authentic. I never felt like they were showing me or I was getting those cutscenes, those moments that they talked about. Universe mode this year, I feel like I am getting more out of it. I feel like I am seeing more cutscenes, having more moments that are pushing my storylines, my rivalries up and down the card. And it doesn't feel wonky and weird like I have someone who is completely low on the card interfering in my main event storyline. It feels a little bit more balanced. And with superstar mode in the cutscenes, I'm really starting to enjoy this aspect of the game. I'm getting more cutscenes with Roman Reigns interacting with his rivals, with Edge, with Seth Rollins. And it feels like it makes more sense in the context of universe mode for me. Every week that I play the match with the superstar focus, at least for me, it seems like I'm getting cutscenes. And I like that. I like that a lot. Whether it's going to be pre-match interference or it's going to be a post-match, it's propelling the story, it's moving things along, and it's making sense. And that's what you want from this mode. You want to feel like you are in control and that you're having the best experience possible with what you're setting up. But we can't talk about all the good without mentioning, well, some of the problems here. Let's get into the issues with this year's universe mode. Let's get the big one done and out of the gate, everybody. The glitches and crashes. I have experienced this myself. My first few run-throughs of just experimenting with universe mode, I had really no issues. I had no crashes. I had no game-breaking bugs. But as I added more custom arenas, more renders, more downloaded community creations, oh man, it started flying off the rails right away. Putting in the custom rendered images alone of existing stars like Becky Lynch, for example, I could not get through to the match itself. The game would simply crash. Freezing, the glitches, community members mentioning how they can't even load the mode itself, that they're just stuck. It has a lot to do with what everyone has been flagging online, which is downloading too many renders, too many created superstars, and creating a huge mess with the game crashing, whether it's universe mode or standard matches. This should not be the case. This is a problem. It needs to get patched. It needs to get fixed. This is a sandbox mode, and in years past, we have been able to put in all of our custom arenas, all of our community creations. We can set up however we want, and this year, it's a buggy mess in that regard. The other big thing that's been taken out of this year's universe mode are promos. We can no longer set up promos to have stars go after each other. For 2K to have a mode that they describe as God mode, where I'm in control of everything, it's a huge aspect that I think a lot of players are upset that they took out. If you play the mode straight up without downloading very much, you're gonna be okay. For the most part. Not everyone's gonna have a great experience. But as soon as we start getting more renders, as soon as we start adding more custom superstars, don't get me started on trying to set up AEW Dynamite. I can't make it happen. It crashes. It can't handle it. 2K needs to do a better job of focusing in on fixing these patches and these issues right away. These are game-breaking bugs. They should not be there. It should be play tested a lot more. Releasing this mode that we have had for several years now should not be in this state. Adding in a rendered image, which is a new feature for the game, should not break it. Rendered images sometimes don't even load up when you are in the loading screen when you can get it to work. And the devs, in my opinion, should have done a better job at looking at it more critically, testing it, stress testing the modes to make sure that they weren't being impacted. It feels like a miss. Regular bugs are still in there when you are playing through your matches. And aside from bugs themselves, the mode is lacking. It's lacking innovation. It hasn't done anything new in several years other than the introduction of Superstar mode, which isn't that much of an addition, right? I enjoy Universe mode, and what I'd been hoping for was to be able to change up rivalries a little bit, adding in a triple threat or a fatal four-way rivalry. But at this point, it feels like it's just gonna break the game. So I'm disappointed that they haven't added anything truly new to the mode itself. I like the new coat of paint. I like that my game on my Series X in Universe mode loads quickly. That is a plus. Changing show details, adjusting the match types, the number of superstars that I have, doing all of the detail adjustments, loads quickly. This was not the case for me in 2K19 and 2K20. So I appreciate that it is going faster, it's snappier. Getting into matches is loading a little bit more quickly. Those are good things, but it lacks innovation. It lacks any attention to detail where you're taking anything up a notch. You're giving folks the same old, and in some cases, you made it worse because of the amount of glitches and game-breaking bugs. Having this as almost a staple within the WWE 2K games, I think it should have received more attention to detail, and I think that it should have been play-tested a lot more to avoid these game-breaking issues that we're seeing in Universe and across other modes as well. So is it a perfect mode? Absolutely not. Is it a lot of fun? At its core, yes. If we're not getting all of the bugs, if we put that aside, or let's live in a world where the patches have come through and it's stable, it's a lot of fun. I think Superstar mode is a good addition. I think the customization in there is a plus and it is a positive, and it gives you more to play with. So hopefully 2K will be able to patch this thing up really quickly so that we can see improvements and make it a lot more fun. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Universe mode? And let me know your impressions of 2K22 overall. And if you want to, we have this episode right here, which gives you our full impressions of 2K22, along with this other one talking about all of those glitches and all the broken stuff that we have in the game. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you on the next episode.